From Hollywood. Welcome to the Rat's Ass Podcast with Mojo Elliott.
Thank God it's Friday!
Oh, what a frickin' week it has been, huh? Surrounded by so much death and the Grim Reaper just lurking around. All right, but for the rest of us who are currently alive, another weekend is upon us, so let's get you ready with another action-packed adventure.
Let's do it.
All right, here's what's on tap on the Wrap. Tony Iommi talks about Ozzy's death for the first time. The Kiss Cam couple are back together again. We'll tell you about that. More and more men are putting their junk in jeopardy. You got to hear this one. And California is losing the old In-N-Out. Oh, the horror that's happening here. And free beer is coming. I'll tell you where. Another round of head trauma is on the way. Today we're going to play It Sounds Dirty, but It's Not. Plus our usual lunacy and loose behavior, including the Friday Funny. That's what's coming up today on the Rat's Ass Podcast for Friday, July 25th. I appreciate you checking out the show, too. All right, as you know, we started a movement a couple of weeks ago called Heal America Now, with the goal of saving the Democratic Party. We're not asking for money. We're not asking you to sign up for anything. It's just a commitment on your part to help us vote out every single Democrat across all levels of government for the next 4 years. We've got to allow them to go away and take a break to cure that Trump derangement syndrome they're suffering from. Consider it political rehab. Okay, we're doing them a favor by doing this. Then we're going to welcome them back into the fold. You're welcome. You're free and clear of the TDS. Welcome back. Because we really do need a two-party system, probably three, but at least two. Get more details on the blog at ratsasspodcast.com. Now, here's another ask. We need you to recruit family and friends into this. We've got to start a fire on this thing before the midterms, so recruit as many people as you can. You know, family, friends, strangers, everybody. All right, let's get into the wrap here. I spent some time reading the tributes to Ozzy Osbourne on social media, and it's clear he touched a lot of people in a positive way. Here is Black Sabbath axeman Tony Iommi talking about Ozzy's death for the very first time.
It was a shock for us. I mean, when I heard yesterday, it couldn't sink in. I thought, it can't be. I only had a text off him the day before. It just seemed unreal, you know, surreal. And it really didn't sink in. And so in the night, I started thinking about it. God, am I dreaming all this? But as I said before, he's not looked well through the rehearsals, and I think he really just held out to do that show. I really feel, and me and Giz were talking about it last night, that we think he held out to do it, and just after that, he's done it and said goodbye to the fans, you know, and that was the end of it, really. Trying to do what he can to so he could do this gig, so he could do it, and that's really what he wanted to do. I think he must have had something in his head that said, well, this is going to be it, the last thing I'm ever going to do. Whether he thought he was going to die or what, I don't know. But he really wanted to do it, and he was determined to do it, and fair dues, he'd done it, you know.
It was a great show. Really was. He sung his heart out that night, and you could really feel and sense that he was on a mission. He had purpose. And when, you know, they say when you're older and you lose your purpose, men tend to, they tend to pass away from it. So we're going to miss Oz, but hey, the music will live on forever. You know, but when you think about it, though, Ozzy's first album was back in 1970 with Black Sabbath. That was 55 frickin' years ago. I first heard Black Sabbath along with Led Zeppelin, Deep Purple, Humble Pie, probably 1973. So 55 years really does fly by, whether you're having fun or not. And it was the same with Eddie Van Halen, too, by the way. It was like they were here for a blip, gave us all this great music, and now they're gone. All right, the Kiss Cam couple, from astronomer, ex-CEO Andy Byron, and now ex-HR head Kristen Cabot. That's right, you heard correct. Kristen has now resigned as the head of HR at Astronomer. And that means the two lovebirds can get back together and start bumping uglies again. Now, I found out, because it was a little sketchy about Kristen Cabot, was she married or not? Turns out that she is married. Her current husband, she cheated on her first husband with him, and now she's cheating on him with Andy. So, Andy, be careful. Be careful, because he seems to be a little bit of a hump around here. Now, there's been no mention of any separations or divorces yet, but you got to know they're coming. All right, more and more men are putting their junk in jeopardy by getting pud fillers. Yeah, they're not satisfied with the length and girth of their little buddies, and they're getting shots and fillers to make them fatter. I don't mean to laugh, because it's not funny, because this is like male ego stuff, and it's thick and it's heavy. And I guess that's what they want. They want something thick and heavy here. But the problem is, so many of these procedures get botched. Men become deformed. There was one man, a story about a guy in New Jersey who got pud fillers, and his little buddy was deformed, and he refused to leave his house for 6 months. Was he leaving the house to go shopping and leaving it hanging out for people to see? I mean, he's out there going around like, hey, I'm not an animal. I'm a human being. I guess that's what it makes him feel like. So, gentlemen, if you're thinking about this procedure, maybe you ought to go with what God gave you and learn to be a chewer and not a screwer. You know what I'm saying? Cherish your little buddy. Don't treat him like a ballpark Frank. It's not going to get plumper when you cook it, okay? All right, when you're a Californian like I am, the one place we all cherish and hold near and dear to our hearts is In-N-Out Burger. And now, thanks to Democratic policies and the lack of leadership from slumlord Gavin Newsom, our governor, the corporate office is leaving and heading to Tennessee. For the life of me, been to Tennessee, seems like a nice place. It's not Southern California. So, it's getting kind of expensive to do business here, thanks to the Democrats. But here's another high-paying corporation leaving because the slumlord doesn't give a rat's ass about business or lifelong residents leaving Southern California or Northern California, the whole damn state. All Democrats care about is maintaining power and filling D.C. with more congressional seats, and they're using California to do it. But none of the burger joints are supposedly closing. But when corporate goes 2,000 miles away, one has to wonder how long will it be before the quality of the food suffers. Now, the question I get from everybody who's never been to California or have never had the opportunity to chow down on an In-N-Out burger, they say, is it really that good? Okay, well, first of all, you have to know the category, okay? It's not Chili's, it's not Five Guys, okay? We're talking about drive-through burgers here. Okay, so it's on the same level as McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, and, say, Jack in the Box. It's pretty damn good. Here's how you know. Okay, when you go through the drive-thru and you have a McDonald's burger and fries, same with Burger King, Wendy's, or Jack in the Box, and then you have an In-N-Out burger, that's when you notice the difference because it's all fresh. The meat probably comes from the same meat packers, but everything else is fresh. The lettuce is cut fresh that day, the onions, the tomato, French fries are cut and diced that day and cooked up. God, it's so good. And you can really tell the difference when you test it against the other burgers. That's when you really notice the difference, though. All right, there's nothing like free beer to make a guy go, say what? Free beer? Did I hear that correctly? Miller Lite is celebrating 50 years by giving away 50,000 beers across the United States on International Beer Day next Friday, August 1st. That's a week from today at 450 participating bars across the 50 states. It's 1 can per person. You got to be at least 21 to get a free beer. You can go to MillerLite.com to find out if there is a bar near you participating. Free beer, it's always worth it. Maybe not driving 10, 15 miles for anymore, but hey, you might find a pub down the street from you to get a free beer. I went to the site expecting to hear a drop like, free beer here, and there was nothing. It's like, Miller, this is your 50th anniversary. Where is the creativity? Miller used to be so damn creative, more filling. What was that? I forget what it was now. I forget the slogan. It's how long it's been. But it was something less filling. More, I forget about it. Doesn't matter. I just wanted to go to the site and hear, free beer, and we got nothing. Nothing. So, Miller, you need to work on your creatives, okay? Free beer here. Something simple like that, right?
He once slipped a booger in his coach's taco.
Oh, I did not.
Here is Mojo Elliott with Rat Sports.
This is hamburger. All right, the New York Jets are in deep trouble. Deep caquita, as they might say. Another quarterback is going down before the start of the season. Remember a couple of years ago, Aaron Rodgers went down with Achilles? Justin Fields, who the Jets signed after Pittsburgh didn't want him, went down with a toe injury on Thursday. There's no indication of how long he'll be out, but the Jets are already scrambling, looking for a potential replacement. Kirk Cousins is on their mind along with Carson Wentz if Fields can't get back within a reasonable amount of time. Kind of feels like Boeing owns the New York Jets, doesn't it? The baseball trade deadline is a week away. You can expect things to really start heating up on Monday after this weekend when teams who are on the bubble, either they get swept, maybe they lose a couple of games, fall 1 or 2 games further back in the standings, could go from buyers to sellers. It's going to be interesting next week, but Monday it's going to really heat up. 5 days of action because it's been boring the last couple of weeks, hasn't it, since the NBA Finals ceased? All right, there is no decision on if the WNBA players, will strike or not. Angel Reese says, don't test us. We're going to walk out. Now, if you pay attention to what people are saying on the social sports sites, I'd say 8 out of 10 people think it's a dumb idea, but when has that ever stopped anyone? But the one cloud the players really have to consider that's hovering over them is what if the NBA, who funds this, decides to pull its financial support of the league? They probably won't do it, but they could, depending on how long something like this would happen. Because the league still loses money hand over fist. And if the WNBA isn't careful, you know what could happen. They could easily get Colbert. And that's sports on the Wrap.
Rat's Ass Podcast. Head trauma.
All right, who is ready for the game we call It Sounds Dirty, but It's Not? I'm going to give you 3 clues, and you have to tell me what I'm describing here. My breasts are big and juicy. You feel like napping after you eat me. You have to spread my legs to stuff me. What do you think that is? One more time. My breasts are big and juicy. You feel like napping after you eat me. And you have to spread my legs to stuff me. What do you think that is? Think about it. I'll have the answer for you coming up on the podcast.
It's time for some loose behavior on the Rat's Ass Podcast.
All right, let's do this. Finally, Friday, and time for the Friday Funny. Making an excellent point with his Brit wit, this is Ricky Gervais.
Cultural appropriation. Have you heard of that? Cultural appropriation, the latest no-no. Now, again, in my day, it was considered a good thing to swap ideas with other cultures, with other nations, to share things with other races, to assimilate. It was the opposite of racist. Now it's racist. Gwen Stefani got in trouble in her last video because she had her blonde hair in dreadlocks. People go, no, black people invented dreadlocks. You can't have them. You're white. That's racist. Jamie Oliver got in trouble when he put out authentic jerk chicken recipe. People go, no, black people invented that. You can't have it. You're white. That's racist. Now, black people, they use the N-word, don't they? We invented that.
Hey, heads up. Here comes your celebrity cheese.
All right, legendary wrestler Hulk Hogan died of a heart attack on Thursday at the age of 71, just 18 days away from his 72nd birthday. Now, I've told the story before about running into him at a local theater here in Southern California. He walked in, of course, he got bum rushed by kids and adults alike wanting autographs and just to get close to the Hulk, a big man, about 6'7", 6'8". Now, he took all the kids to the concession stand and bought them whatever they wanted. Had to drop an easy $500. I mean, you know how expensive concession stands are. Didn't think anything about it. Just said, come on, kids, let's go have some candy. And off they went. And I remember Rocky III as Thunder Lips, wasn't it? Wasn't that Rocky III? I think it was. And, you really can't appreciate Hogan's stamp on pop culture until you hear Beavis and Butthead call one of his matches.
What?
Yeah, smash, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, kick him, oh, yeah, hey, yeah, crash.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh,
Yeah, hit him.
Oh, you pissed him off now. He's
Kick
gonna
his
kick your
ass.
Yeah, hit him. Slap him in the nuts. Oh, yeah, crash it. Oh,
Stomp
yeah.
the crap out of him.
Hit him, yeah, okay, yeah, hit him in the head. Yeah, kick him. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
It doesn't get any better than that when you're calling wrestling. I actually worked with Lee Marshall. He was the voice of wrestling for many, many years. What a great guy. Lee passed away a few years ago, but he used to talk about Hulk Hogan, and again, not a bad word about him. Said he was just really a gentle giant of a person. Now, on Wednesday, we started a round of Celebrity Deadpool because superstition says celebrities die in threes. Now, first we had Malcolm Jamal Warner on Monday, Ozzy on Tuesday, and unfortunately, Hulk Hogan makes it 3 to complete this round of Celebrity Deadpool. And may all 3 men rest in peace. But what a week we've had. All right, South Park kicked off its 27th season last night, and of course it turned into a Trump bash fest. So the question is, have creators Matt Stone and Trey Parker run out of ideas? You know, Robin Williams used to say, if people aren't laughing, go for the dick joke. Are Stone and Parker now changing the rules? When people aren't laughing, is it now go for the Trump joke?
This is such a crock of shit.
Yeah, you're familiar with Madame Tussauds wax museums, right? You're also familiar with one Taylor Swift, too, correct? Well, the news is that's burning up the socials is that the Madam is introducing an Eras Tour-inspired wax figures of Taylor Swift at all 13 locations, and people are lining up and buying tickets like you wouldn't believe, just to see a wax figure of Taylor Swift. Now, there is no wax statues of Taylor and Travis, though. Let's just clear that up. People were asking about that. But bottom line is that they couldn't do it. They tried. But their private parts kept melting.
What the hell kind of joke's that?
And before I forget, Britney Spears has been single now for 156 days.
Who gives a rat's ass?
Rat's Ass Podcast. Email from our Gmail.
All right, as you know, I do not read your email in advance. My producer, Fleabag, forwards me your name, where you're from, and rewrites them so I can read them rapid fire and on the fly. No topic is off the table either. All right, Bridget K., Clearwater, Florida says, I'm curious, what turns you on and off about a woman? What turns me on and off about a woman? Well, sense of humor, number one. That to me, that's the turn on. I mean, if she's not funny, she's not going to be my honey. But turn off, number one turn off for me is probably when her ass looks like a sack of cats fighting when she walks. You know, you can't stop from looking at it. It's there. It's going ba-boom, 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 ba-boom. You can't take your eyes off it. How in the hell does she stuff that thing in there? And it looks like a sack of cats fighting when she walks. That's kind of a turnoff. Jason A., Columbus, Ohio, tell us how you really feel about Barack Obama. God, you know, I really feel bad for the dude. I really do. Despite all the political nonsense that's going on, because you have to think about this. Every day, this guy is reminded that he married a woman that's more of a man than he is. Can't be easy on him. Diane W. from Plattsburgh, New York said, how about the meeting between Trump and Fed Chair Jerome Powell? Do you think we'll see a rate cut soon? Oh, God. September? I hope not. As somebody who lives on interest and dividend income, every time they cut the rates, I get a pay cut. God, and it forces me to risk money in the stock market, which I really don't want to do. But, you know, I get it. You know, the high interest rates right now, it's tough to buy a home. So in order to get the economy cooking, to keep the Democrats out of office, we got to get the rate cut. So I'm willing to take the pay cut if it gets the country moving in the right direction. That's what kind of an American I am. It's about teamwork. Team. All right, Bob F., Greensboro, North Carolina, said, what are your favorite Ozzy and Black Sabbath songs that you never played on the radio? I guess they're called deep cuts. Yeah, we call them deep cuts. God, there were so many songs. Now, back in the freeform days in the 70s, you would hear all of these songs that I'll talk about, I guess. But once corporate radio took over, that's when they said, okay, any song more than 4.5 minutes doesn't get on the radio. Yeah, that really happened at one time. But yeah, God, I'm stalling for time here because I'm thinking while I'm talking. You know, I would say The Wizard, Sabracadabra is another one, Snowblind. Oh God, Black Sabbath, the song Black Sabbath. I used to love how it would build and build and build, and then boom, it would just hit you between the eyes with a great jam at the end. Let's see, Planet Caravan is another one. God, what else? Jack the Stripper, Fairies Wear Boots, Symptoms of the Universe. God, what else? Megalomania, another one that's a 9-minute jam that's really good. Rat Salad's another one. Then you got the solo stuff from Ozzy, like Hellraiser was good. Never really liked the title of this song and the lyrics in this song, but damn, it rocks. But Zombie Stomp was good. Kind of a little, I don't know, it's just something about the title, Zombie Stomp. I don't know, it just sounded kind of weird to me, but it's Ozzy all over it. See You on the Other Side's another one. Suicide Solution. Time After Time's good too. Then, of course, I think a lot of people have missed out on the newer Black Sabbath and Ozzy tunes over the last 20 years. God is Dead from 13. That was a question, though. God is Dead with a question mark, not a statement. The one with Eric Clapton, One of Those Days, is really good. I loved Let Me Hear You Scream, I Don't Want to Stop. Those came from, the late 2Ks up to the mid 2Ks. That's about all I can think of off the top, but and I wasn't really big on the ballads. It's just not my bag on that, Bob, but a lot of good deep cut Black Sabbath stuff and Ozzy Osbourne stuff to dig into as you remember Ozzy. All right, Miles T. from Flagstaff, Arizona said, 2 weeks ago I met these two girls hiking near my home. Okay, we need ambiance. They invited me to hike with them. And long story short, we ended up back at my place and we had sex in the pool, by the pool, and in my bed. The problem is they keep coming. I'm sure they do. They keep coming by for more action. I like when they come, and I'm sure you do. But they won't leave when I hint that they got to go. What's the best way to get them to leave so they don't come back? Oh, no, that they will come back. Of course you want them to come back until you get tired of it. But, well, it's real simple, Miles. Ladies, I love when you're here and you're welcome anytime. But when I say I have to leave, that means you got to go too. Can we all agree on this up front before I go hump your brains out that this is the rule in place? Try that and see if that works. Sometimes you just have to appeal to their good nature, okay? But I know you're worried about it not coming back again because you're having a good time. All right, Lisa R. in Wilmington, California said, here's a hypothetical question for you. If you could, what state would you eliminate from the 50? Oh, New York. New York. I know of no redeeming qualities about New York. Sorry, New Yorkers, but it's true, and you know it. New York City especially. It's why it's called the Big Crapple. California would be a close second, though, because we have better weather. We can go surfing, snow skiing, and off-road riding in the desert all in the same day here. So that's got a big plus. So, I guess on second thought, I'd get rid of Michigan and Illinois before California, too. But New York, definitely number one on the to-go list. All right, Willie B., Oxford, Mississippi, said, I'm not a bad-looking guy, but I have a problem approaching women. Is there an easy way to do this and not get rejected? Oh, you're asking for the impossible. Willie, here's the deal. The first thing you need is confidence. Women are like dogs and bees. They can smell fear. So until you conquer that beast, you got to practice yourself. You might get turned down a lot, but you got to get brave. You got to find out what works for you, But until then, you got to prepare to get yourself shut down every single time. It's all about the confidence, You just walk up to a lady, look her in the eye, and say, hi, my name's Willie. Okay, you might want to shorten that to Will, but give it a shot. All right, Jesse K., Melbourne, Australia, says, when it comes to Sheilas, have you heard of the 4 Fs and did you ever practice them? Oh, yes, Jesse, everybody. Every guy knows about the 4 Fs. Every man has practiced them at some point in time, unless you're a religious person, maybe. But yeah, I'm going to clean this up for you, but it's find them, feed them, fornicate with them, and forget them. That's what the 4 Fs are. But yeah, every guy does, and believe me, you get tired of it after a while. So it's not like this big deal. Just get it out of your system, man, and move on from the 4 Fs. All right, if you have any questions, observations, or comments, send them to my producer, Fleabag, at ratsasspodcast@gmail.com. The more outrageous and salacious, the better. And I got to say, they've been getting a little bit more salacious lately, and that's a good thing.
Rat's Ass Podcast. Head trauma.
All right, we're playing It Sounds Dirty, but It's Not today. Here are the 3 clues again, and you have to tell me what they describe. My breasts are big and juicy. You feel like napping after eating me. And you have to spread my legs to stuff me. What do you think that is? It's a toikie.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah. All right, so if you said a toikie, you got it right. But if you missed it, go see your doctor and get your head trauma taken care of and get well soon. All right, I got to hit it. There's a brand new cannabis place opening up near me, and I'm going to go loiter today until they throw me out, just for fun. All right, but I do have one more thing for you before I split. Did you know the oldest sister in any family is usually the most ambitious and successful? Science has proven this to be true. So that means, fellas, when you meet a girl, ask her immediately if she's the oldest. And if she's not, she falls in that 4F category.
That's a horrible thing to say.
No, it's not. It's honest.
You don't always have to be honest.
Yeah, you do, Alexa. That's the whole idea.
That's rubbish, and I'm done talking to you.
Yeah, it's just like you, to get cranky when you know I'm right.
Piss off, jag off, and do your shout-outs to Rat Nation Podcaster.
Oh, here we go with the podcaster shit again. Why do I put up with her? I mean, I'm either too cheap or loyal, and it's probably both. All right, welcome to Rat Nation, Scarlett Wilson of Lake Elsinore, California, Hunter O'Malley in Gulf Shores, Alabama, Tab Myers from Silver Springs, Nevada, and to the Resistance. Those of you who email us but haven't joined Rat Nation yet, James D. from Pueblo, Colorado, Nick C., Syracuse, New York, Max K. from Terre Haute, Indiana. I also want to throw in a shout-out to my niece, Michelle. Shelley, thank you for listening to the Rat's Ass Podcast. Yeah, I'm recruiting family members now. And around the world to listeners in Berlin, Germany, Paris, France, Brasilia, Brazil. Thanks for dropping by and listening to the Rat's Ass Podcast.
Now's your chance to be one of the few and the loud. Join Rat Nation at ratsasspodcast.com. Membership does have its rewards, you know.
And that's going to do it for this episode of the Rat's Ass Podcast. Be sure to check out ratsasspodcast.com to get the entire Rat's Ass Podcast experience. You can listen to the podcast, obviously. Rock out on Rat's Ass Rock TV. Read the blog that's loaded with hot topicality. Plus, you can still join Rat Nation before you have to qualify. We'll do this again on Monday, July 28th. Take care of each other, and thanks for stopping by again to the Rat's Ass Podcast. Go out there and have a terrific weekend, why don't you?
The conversation continues between podcasts on X and ratsasspodcast.com. ratsasspodcast.com.